First question is, what year were you born?
6/24/31.
6,
Mm-hmm.
24.
24/31.
You were born in 1931?
31.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
Where were you born?
Salt Lake City, Utah.
What was your neighbor? Oh, wait. No, where did you grow up?
In Salt Lake.
What was your neighborhood like as a kid?
Church town. Mormon church town. The town was capital city of Utah.
What was your school like when you were a kid?
School?
Mm-hmm.
Just regular grade school like anybody else would. Grade school.
What were the challenges you faced when you went to school?
What?
Challenges? Like, what did you face when you went to school? Like, were there anything going on when you went to school?
I still don't call that. Tina?
When you went to school?
Was there any racial things?
Was there, I mean, like, was there any problems going on?
Was raised without a mother. Dad only. In fact, all the life we was in a foster home before our dad got out of jail and came and got us. And mother and dad were divorced. I was raised by a dad only. My real dad.
What was the first job you had?
Working with my dad as a boy at 10, working on trees and yard work.
What was the first job like?
You mean as an older boy or as a young boy?
Your first job you've ever had, what was it like?
I was a box boy in a supermarket. Yeah, I worked as a box boy.
How old were you?
16 at that time.
What were your teenage years like?
My senior year?
Your teenage years.
School time?
Yeah.
I didn't finish high school. I got in trouble. I went to the 9th grade in school and continuation to the 10th.
Mm-hmm.
And then I didn't go to school anymore.
No? You
No.
never finished?
No, never finished school.
How did you meet your spouse?
At a Long Beach Pike, the entertainment. They had a swimming pool, what they called the plunge.
I went there.
And she walked by. Do you remember the Pike plunge?
I used to go there.
You remember that? Okay. She was walking by just before the merry-go-round, and looked like 2 bulldogs in her wool blanket. And I followed her down to the water. That's how I met her.
What major wars or conflicts do you remember?
What do you mean in conflict? What would that be?
I guess you could say like everything that was going on with Martin Luther King, or just something that was big going on in the nation.
What was going on?
Like depression.
Yeah.
I was had just got out of the service,
Mm-hmm.
and at that time, I think it was the Zoot Suiters.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember that?
I told him that.
Zoot Suiters at that time. Yeah. They had the Navy was in conflict with the Mexican people, and the Zoot Suiters were having problems, and they were having fights.
With the military.
Yeah, that was a racial deal.
Yeah.
That's what was happening. Yep, the Zoot Suiters.
Do you ever remember anything going on with Martin Luther King and all the riots and everything?
Not at that time. That was too early. I don't think Martin Luther King came on until later.
Yeah.
I heard of it when it did happen. That was too soon for Martin Luther King.
Oh yeah, he was.
That was way back. We're talking about
60s and 70s. You're
the
way
50s.
before the. You're still in the 50s.
This is 1950.
In 50s, where like all the stuff, the 20s and all that, all the way up to like that was Zoot Suits and all that other stuff.
Yeah.
But do you remember?
Pachucos and
Yeah.
Zoot Suits. Yeah. See, Macy, Jackson, Dogtown, Happy Valley, that's where I went to school.
Oh, yeah?
Down, I went to school in LA,
Yeah?
right there at Central Junior High School.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Zoot Suiters.
So in your case, the Zoot Suiters, what do you remember about them, and how did you feel about it?
About what?
About you said the Zoot Suiters, so how did you feel about
I thought it was a bad deal because they were fighting and having problems. You'd go to a dance, and if you had more Navy than you did the Zoot Suiters, but you go, what do you want to call them? They'd have fights,
it?
and as a group, they always congregated together. And if they ever got in a conflict, you had problems. You remember some of them
Yeah.
downtown in the dance halls? It used to be basically the Spanish dancing in downtown
yeah,
LA.
yeah,
And then the Navy guys would be on leave, they'd come down in a group, then you had fights between them.
Yeah.
With bad news. If you had a chain and a deal, you're in trouble if you got
Yeah,
caught by
caught,
Navy,
yeah.
or even Marines.
Yeah.
There was conflict, it had problems.
What major historical events have you lived through, and what do you remember about them?
About what?
Major historical events?
At that time, there was really nothing, I don't think. I think the change in the downtown area was, my knowledge was living down in Skid Row, where I was raised. I was on 3rd and Central Avenue. And I used to go up to the downtown area, and they did actually would call it, they were actually winos on the street. And then they frequent, I used to have to go to school across town, and they'd have the drunks that went on the streets, and I had to go to school to that. I'd cross from 3rd Street, I'd go across 5th and 6th Street, which was Skid Row, to 9th Street School, in grade school. That's where I was raised. But that was mainly the problem of downtown conflict with winos.
Yeah.
They didn't have drugs at that time. I never heard of marijuana, that's about all.
Yeah. One thing I wanted to ask you is Grandma was telling me you in the service, and you went to some war? What war was it you went to?
Korean War.
Yeah. How was that?
How was the war?
Yeah, I mean, all in all, like,
As a young boy at about, 17, my dad signed me into the service. And I went to basic training in Fort Ord, California. They sent me from Utah to California. And then they sent me to Japan.
Oh, really?
And I was stationed in Japan for almost 18 months before Korea came out. I was on Mount Fujiyama, down near Tokyo, in a military 81mm mortar. I carried the base plate for the mortar. And we're running up and down the hills on Mount Fujiyama
That's heavy too.
doing maneuvers. And that's when Korea broke out.
Really?
And they shipped us from our maneuvers back up north to northern Japan to outfit us, get us ready to go to Korea. And in doing so, they brought Korean troops, man for man, on our company to supply us with Korean soldiers. Each man had a Korean soldier with him. And then we were displaced down to Tokyo and boarded ship to go to Korea on the invasion, to go to Korea. Now that was now I got married later when I came back from the service. So the conflict, now do you want to know what the conflict was like?
Yeah.
And what the landing?
Just the whole everything.
Whole thing? Okay. We boarded ship in Tokyo and put my Jeep on that I was driving. What happened, one of the Army men flipped the Jeep over and he wiped out the windshield. Caused flip. So they kicked him off and I had driver's license. So they told me to report. I'm with the space plate and they tell me, report to the motor pool. You're going to be a driver for an officer. So they transfer me to motor pool. I get a Jeep ready for amphibious landing. I have a piece of wood up the side of the Jeep with a snorkel, if you know what a snorkel
Yeah,
is.
exactly. Breathing.
And they put me on board ship. I put the Jeep on the LSD, which is the one that the front opens up and the cars drop down. I'm up on top deck.
Yeah.
But they put me on troop transport, ship first. We go to Pusan for landing. They take me off of this ship and put me on my Jeep is on, and we go in for landing. They open the front, and I drive down, and I'm in about a foot of water. There ain't no amphibious. We just drive through a puddle of water and onto the land. And we drive inland and see the things around us, like a hole through a building that a shell had gone through, and some of the tanks and equipment that have been destroyed. We come in at Incheon. We stay overnight in a field, a cornfield that night. The next morning we go for Sewell, and I'm in this mortar platoon. Well, they're kind of behind the lines. The Marines are supposed to be in front of us, and some of our troops, the Army troops. We take they have what they call an Amtrak. It's a amphibious boat that has the ability to tracks.
Oh, okay.
And we back the vehicle in. We start across to back in, and shells came in. They made us go to another area and come back. And we cross over and go in the hill that I was stationed on at that night. Was looking down the main street of Sewell. I could see the capital of Sewell. It's what they called South Mountain. And that night, we were to stand on board. They set up 4 guns on the back of this hill, the mortars. The next morning, 1,000 men come up the hill in front of that hill we were on. And they were sneaking up with the guns and knives. That morning, I'm on sleeping. The guys supposed to be on guard in my hole with me. I wake up, bullets are flying through the deal. People yelling, they're going to overrun us. 1,000 came up that hill. They got on the guns and got them all going. We killed 800 in front of those guns that morning.
Wow.
You've got 400 square yards. One mortar can cover 400 square yards, 9 rounds, like that. That's their pattern. You have a square area, you kill everything in that area. We had 4 guns and fired a 2.5-ton truck full of ammo that morning.
Wow.
Over into the troops. They killed 800. The paymaster, he was dead on top of the hill that morning. And they had a valise full of wand that he's going to pay the troops. The guys were using for toilet paper and smoking it.
Oh, shit.
With it. We got up in North Korea, it was good money. The guys using for toilet paper.
That's funny.
But I was there in that company. We left that part of the area, which was overlooking Sewell. The Marines went forward. I was up on that hill the morning when the attack deal after. I fired my rifle once, and the shell jammed in the chamber. It discharged.
Yeah.
Took it bayonet, tried to put another shell in, and it done the same thing, and I got off the hill. Because I was looking down at people that run away from the mortars down, and I could see them in the streets. The troops, the Korean troops. I got down and then I changed my rifle right then. They measured at the ordnance and said it was undersized. Should never been issued.
Oh, shit.
I'd had that was a new rifle issued to me and never had a chance to fire it.
Oh, shit.
I got one and I made sure it fired.
All right, the next one had to count.
The next one, yeah. I've been killed up on that hill.
Yeah.
There was guys up there with little holes here and there.
Uh-huh.
The top of the head, just like you take a cookie jar off, and brains and blood running down the deal.
Crazy.
I mean,
Wow.
that's a part of
Yeah.
what I saw. And none of our troops, as far as up on the hill, got killed. I think there were a few of the front lines did. But we killed a bunch of them out there. I didn't go down, but they estimated 800.
Ah, that's a big diff.
Yeah, a whole wave of them came up that hill from the capital
Oh,
in
okay.
the main part. They stopped that attack and the deals. Now, what other questions?
Alright.
How long I was there?
Yeah.
I spent 9 months in Korea. I went from Seoul. I took a convoy south to Busan to board ship and go on another invasion. We went around Korea, like here's Korea. We come in on the west side. We left the area, went down the center of it to this end. We boarded another troop transport and come up here on this side, which was the east coast, just like
Yeah.
our east coast. We were supposed to go in at Wonsan, and there was too many mines in the bay for the invasion. Well, we went up further to Iwon. We went in, and I think it was Thanksgiving of 1950 that we were sitting 40 miles below the Manchurian border, 28 below zero.
Wow.
We was living out in foxholes.
That's crazy.
And yeah, we had our Thanksgiving there. Underestimation of the situation, the Chinese came down from China into North Korea over the Manchurian border and come down the center of the island, and we had to withdraw and evacuate to get out of there. I don't know what was Wonsan or Iwon that we evacuated out.
Yeah.
Went back down by troop transport, back down Korea, back up towards Busan, or Busan here, but Incheon, and I was in the central part of Korea when I got sent back home on rotation. 9 months.
Crazy.
I got the battle ribbon and three major battle stars on my ribbon.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. What else you got, honey?
What jobs have you had in your life?
What jobs?
Yeah, like all around.
Let's see. 8 years in aircraft,
Mhm.
aircraft assembler. I had 7 years in shipyards as a shipbuilder. I went 26 years with the water company as a mechanic, heavy and light duty mechanic. Are you recording?
Mhm.
Okay. In my life, I was upholstering part-time
Mhm.
between working with aircraft. And I worked 7 years part-time in aircraft and upholstering.
And what?
In upholstering, that's where you
Oh.
make furniture, upholstering. My teeth are gonna be replaced pretty soon. Is this gonna be, or are you just gonna use that for reference?
I think for reference.
A reference,
Yeah.
okay.
Um,
Then I came back. Another job, well, mechanic, when I got back, they sent me from the Camp Cook, California to Presidio for the Japanese peace treaty. You know that the Japanese didn't really sign a peace treaty until 1952,
Oh, no.
51 or 50, yeah, 51, 1951, when the Japanese peace treaty was finally signed, finalized it. I got in on it because I was a mechanic in a company that sent us up to take care of the vehicle. Had brand new vehicles. What mechanics did they need? They didn't need any.
Alright.
We just go up there, we report into the barn in the morning, and at noon we were gone. Chased the country in San Francisco. Anything to do with discharge? When I was let out of service, I got out at Camp Irwin.
mhm.
But before I was discharged, I went to what they called a camp out in the desert where they had the atomic bomb tests.
Oh, okay.
We drove out 70 miles north of Las Vegas. We went off into the brush, and we made a camp there. And that was to take and get all the equipment that came off of the atomic bomb test during the 50s that they had out in the desert. They'd bring the equipment in. And I was stationed there for several months, and then I was sent to Camp Irwin, which is right there by a ghost town. In a Cahalico ghost town. And I was discharged January 1952. January. Out of the Army. Not on that line, they give me, I signed for 2 years when I joined. Truman said, young man, we need you. They give me another year in the service. I got 3 years. Signed for 2.
Funny.
Now, any other questions? What you want to know, honey?
What did the jobs teach you?
The jobs?
Yeah.
The job teach me how to get money to eat, and that's what was needed
Right.
to support
To
me.
live.
Yeah.
I had no experience, just like the box boy, you say.
Yeah.
But I drove in the service and was a mechanical deal, and that helped me in aircraft. And also shipbuilding helped me. Being in the aircraft, I learned to read the blueprints.
Yeah.
And then I go into shipbuilding, and it's much bigger than an airplane.
Yeah.
And here you got different measurements and different deal, but it taught me how to make a living. I had to work to learn it.
Yeah.
Working in the water company, it was mechanical. Actually, they hired me as a welder, and they had me work on Saturdays, and they found out I knew as much about the cars as the other guys did. They asked me, would you like to get out of the welding shop and come up in the automotive? I said, that's great. I loved that. So I learned how to work on vehicles, and I worked on big tractors, graders, dozers, big equipment. That was most of my work at the last part of the years. 26 years working with the water company, and they gave me 2 years more on time in service. They gave me 28 years, and when I retired.
Oh, that's cool.
What else?
Is there anything you wish you had done differently, and why?
Would I have done any differently?
Yeah.
Probably would have changed my marriage situation if I'd had enough sense at the time what was going on.
Yeah.
And but actually the wife, I was making $500 a week in the shipyards. And when I came up here, I went to work for the water company. I was $500 a month. I had to go from 50 or what, 2,000 a month to 500.
500, yeah.
But we made it. Wouldn't have done differently. I'd probably took the radio out and found another one. Didn't know if I was in love with the heat. Hi, sweetheart. Hi, baby. What else, honey?
How has America changed in your lifetime?
How's what?
America?
How has America changed?
Yeah, in your lifetime.
We got a lot more drugs than we ever had when I was a kid. I knew what marijuana or had heard of it, but now all this opium stuff, it's changed awful.
It's
Yeah.
crazy
Really
now.
bad.
Yeah.
Anything else?
How has the world changed?
How does the world change?
Yeah.
Get a lot bigger, and a lot more cars on the road.
Yeah.
A lot more people.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot more
Yeah,
people.
a lot more problems than what we had before.
Mhm.
But that's part of life. That's what they say. Improvement
Yeah.
and adjust to conditions existing.
Actually, I'm gonna go backwards. I'm gonna go find a piece of land somewhere.
It's hard to say. What are the kids going to do to get a job
Yeah.
when it comes time for them to get out of school? There are people, are even older people and educated people looking for jobs, and they're not. They don't exist.
Yeah, they don't.
You almost have to make your own.
Yeah.
That world's changed.
What advice do you have for me and the people in my generation?
Advice:
Mhm.
get your education. That's important.
Yeah.
That's something I didn't have. I probably had gotten a better job and had a better position.
Mhm.
Might even been an engineer
Right.
if I'd had the education, which I didn't. I didn't take advantage of it. That's
Yeah.
my advice to him. Get your schooling.
Yeah.
Get all the school you can, and go to college if you can make it.
Mhm.
By all means.
That's about it.
That's about it.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
All righty. What you